Hey, girlfriend.
Hola.
Hola, mi amiga. All right. So today, really brief revelation that I had after visiting 2 days in a row, a place that many LA natives and people who live here who've traveled long and far have heard about. It's called Santee Alley, right?
I
So
thought you was about to
Sant.
say Roscoe's. I was gonna be like, girl, I knew that chicken was flaw.
Oh, nah. Yeah, nah. We ain't gonna get on Roscoe's today. Santee Alley. So there's this place. It's basically like swap meet vibes. Like everybody's selling different things from jewelry to fabrics to tank tops to, anything, right?
Right.
And as I was perusing through the different shops, I was just thinking to myself how affordable it really is to be fly and how you don't have to go out of your way to wear, excuse me, um, you don't have to go out of your way to shop like high end to look high end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times, oftentimes than not, many of our girlfriends, especially, go above and beyond to live above our means. And you don't have to when there are places like Santee Alley, there are flea markets, there are thrift stores that have a lot of designer pieces or things that look similar to designer, just because, I mean, obviously you want to invest in like quality pieces when you can. But my whole purpose of this revelation is to share with you that you do not have to live above your means to be fly and be fashionable. There are plenty of other ways that you can, accessorize and make minimal looks look fabulous. And so I just want to encourage those out there to not feel so, and that goes along with like how we shame ourselves for our bodies, for our appearance, for our hair, for our nails, all the things, just because someone else says that this is the way it's supposed to look. Like, okay, everybody got the Telfar, and yes, everybody wanted it, and it was an affordable bag. There's nothing wrong with the Telfar, but I'm just saying, like, you don't have to get the Telfar just because everybody else got it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get Prada shades just because your homegirl got Prada shades. Like, if you cannot afford those shades, don't worry about it. And there are plenty of other shades available, two for the 10. You can bargain you on up and bargain you on down. And so I just want, I mean, bargain you on down. And they're gonna try to bargain you up. But my point is that, with skillful negotiation, you too can be a fashionista like the rest of these bitches in Prada and Gucci, Louis, and all the things. And you might even find somebody in Santee Alley that's selling the Louis, the Gucci, and all of the things, because I definitely got me some new perfume, Jimmy Choo, and it is Jimmy Choo, and it smells fabulous. And I only paid $35. So, a boop.
Sure.
I love a good sale. I love a good steal. I should say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I got some designer jeans from the thrift store from the Salvation Army up the street. People just be giving away their stuff, especially in like places like
Mm-hmm.
here, where these rich folks buy all the time. So they just give away their stuff at Goodwill and Salvation Army. I got some really expensive jeans for $9. All I'm gonna do is probably pay a couple more dollars, get them hose dry clean, maybe altered a little bit so they can fit my ass. And boom, you got you some designer jeans that regularly cost hundreds of dollars for $9. Amazing. I love a steal. I just recommend and suggest to any of our girlfriends out there and guy friends out there to not feel the need to live above your means,
Mm-hmm.
live like the Joneses. It's no such thing. Like, just do you and be fly on a budget.
That's what's up. I totally agree. It is a little tougher for some people.
Yeah.
Just because like for me, like being plus size, I can't go to the thrift store and find my size in anything because not many. Well, one is because people who are my size don't. When we get a piece,
We
we hold
keep the
on to a
peace.
piece,
Yeah, that's true.
and then also a lot of smaller girls run to the thrift store and buy big oversized things so they can cut them up. So as far as accessories and things like that, definitely, like, you do not have to have no Prada shades. You do not have to. You can, girl, you can go on down if you want something maybe quality. If you want something mid range, you can go on down to the Warby Parker,
Right.
Zillow, or something like that, and get you a nice pair of shades for 95, even 40, a couple of dollars and stuff
Or
like
even
that.
like Depop, where you can
Yeah.
filter your
Hmm.
sizes and all of the things, or what you're specifically
Yeah.
looking for. There are plenty of other avenues where you can wear. I know a lot of people who don't like secondhand. So that's why I
Yeah,
suggested Santee Alley, which does offer a variety of sizes for all sorts of women. I went
that's
with
great.
our good girlfriend Ayana, and she was really thrilled to see that like a lot of the boutiques had like a plus size section, because she's
That's
kind of
great.
what's explained to me that it's difficult for her to shop as well, because she's in the middle. It's like
Yeah.
some things that are plus size don't really fit, but then the average girl size don't really fit either. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you in that really weird middle point.
Yep.
But neither here nor there, there were options in
Mm-hmm.
Santee Alley at a lot of those little boutiques. Now, I don't know the quality of these things. This is my first time exploring this area, but definitely if you're into, getting like affordable fabrics, even to make your own things, and like just little trinkets and things like that that are gold plated, if you want it like jewelry, or if you want the Indian fashions, plenty to choose
Mhm.
from. So
Yeah,
step
absolutely.
on down to Santee Alley when you get
Step
here.
on down there. And for my bigger girls, I can say, because it's tough. Bigger clothes are more expensive. That's the really shitty thing about being fat, is that people will try and upcharge you for trying to have clothes on your back. And so there are avenues that you can go. Like, I mean, a lot of girls I know, they shop at Fashion Nova, and Fashion Nova occasionally does have some cute quality pieces. I don't necessarily agree with their like business practices and how they go about copying designers of color, but for some people that is the option. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep on Rainbow, because that ain't nothing but Fashion Nova in store.
Right,
Like,
right.
but we have, thankfully, we have way more options now than we did when I was growing up, where it was just really a source of like discomfort for me. And I felt like even as a young girl, I always looked very matronly, but that's because we didn't have like stylish clothes side by
Options,
side.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you were forced to be like look like a little woman, and you was like, I'm trying to be a girl.
Right.
I'm trying to be a teenager. But yeah, so ASOS is an option that I really love. That's like you said, is affordable. That has a wide range of things at a wide range of prices.
Mhm.
You can go and get like your lower end or your lower price stuff, the middle, and then you have your stuff. Like, it was one time I saw this dress on ASOS. It was $100 and some, and I legit messaged ASOS because my ass
I'm
really
a
wanted.
week.
I
Like, contact
wanted
us now, the little
I
message box.
wanted the dress. Look, it's hot in here. My glasses are
It's
fogging up.
so hot in here.
I wanted the dress so bad, and I started comparing the dress to another dress that was not the same price. And I'm like, but the fabric is the same, the percentage. I was like, why is this?
No, you did not. You was on the like little contact me now, little the message
Yes.
box.
Is this a mistake? It must have been a typo, because why? Either way, I say all that to say there are more options for us now. We have like I said, the Fashion Novas, the Pretty Little Things. Hell, Forever 21 be having a little thing every now and then, for the bigger gals. If you're trying to go that route, if you're trying to go for some things that are more quality, you have Eloquy, which at first you might have sticker shock, but they have a sale every day. You have places like Hanifa that offers plus size. They go to like a 2X, so it's not like crazy range. But for those of you who can fit in that, who want like that more designer look, then you can go that route. And there are plenty of other like brands and designers. But I totally agree with you, that you don't have to like spend a coin to look
To look
good.
cute,
You
period.
know, in general, especially it's hard. Like, bro, it's hot.
Girl, when
I
I
give
tell
up.
you,
I give up. I'm tired.
I'm weak.
I'm
You
tired.
okay? It's been a long day.
I just want to go to bed. But yeah, so there are options for us, thankfully. But it might cost a little more, but that's okay. We gonna work on that
Yeah,
as a
for
unit.
sure. For sure. Well, hey, girlfriend.
Hola.
And we are back for another episode of Girlfriends Podcast. I'm Sammy,
I'm E, or
or Griselda Blanco.
or Griselda Blanco, as my Zoom name says.
um, yeah, we're back for another episode of the podcast. Really excited to be with you all and a little tired, but it's fine. We're here and we hope that you're enjoying your day listening to this. To start, I have a WCW this week. Do you have a WCW this week?
I do not.
Okay, great. This is our WCW. I'm sure she's been on the list before in previous episodes. Meg the Stallion was wrote a beautiful piece
So proud of
in
her.
the New York Times, right? Um, and it was like an essay damn near, but it was really good. She touched on a lot of different things from, mentioning the late Senator John Lewis. She mentioned, hold on, let me get to it real quick. Because I wrote some notes down. I really enjoyed the article a lot. I read it first thing I read this morning. And it literally is an opinion piece written by her that says why I speak up for Black women. She of course touches on the things related to the shooting. Um, she talked about maternal mortality rates, which is something I told you I wanted us to touch on at some point with someone
Mm-hmm.
who's skilled in that area. She mentioned a stat for transgender women, and just it was just like a really well written article. And I just love and stand Meg the Stallion because she is such a role model for an
Yeah,
educated Black stallion, you know what I mean? Like
I
she's
think
tall, she's thick, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
She's talented, she's just multifaceted. And I just love that she really is just truly and authentically herself, as much as she can be publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the piece, especially from the education perspective, it's like you're really educated, you really know what you're talking about, and you read and you are willing to share that knowledge with other women and also inspire other women who may have dealt with something or felt like they were, in a situation similar. It touched me this morning. So
Yeah,
period.
I was super happy to see that article, the article, especially with the Times. Like, I love the piece that accompanied it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that
The
video
video.
that they
Mm-hmm.
did, because she really did show every like facet and like intersection of Black womanhood, and I really did appreciate that from her. But what can we expect from the Aquarian Queen? She's going to be inclusive, she's going to be looking out for everybody, because that's just how we do. And don't roll your eyes, because you love us.
I do love y'all.
Okay. But I just really consider Meg to be like a Renaissance woman, honestly, because she is able to, when I think of somebody like who can hold that title, I think of a person who is like you said, multifaceted, and is able to hold her own in so many different places and spaces. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to flip, like, I mean, we can go back to her SNL performance. One minute it was
Mm-hmm.
shaking ass, it was the next minute, Daniel Cameron is a bitch and protect Black women. And I just, yeah, I love Meg. I stand Meg. I pray that she, is continuing to heal. And that she just sees all of the success and joy and peace possible out there for her, because she deserves.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
um yeah, I'm really proud of her, and she mentioned Daniel Cameron bitch ass as well in the article.
as she should.
So I was happy about
As
that
she
as well.
should. He
Or
said
she
he didn't.
reiterated it, I should say. He
Period.
said he what?
He said it was completely unnecessary or something like that for her to mention him on Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, well, it's completely unnecessary for you to be a coon, but
And
here
not
you
take
are.
action, but here you are, black
But here
man.
you are, and you finna get aired out. Thank God, because that juror said, "No, this is some bullshit." Like, we didn't even get a chance. We didn't even have the option to put charges on any of these officers, because he did not place the option in front of us.
Mm.
You didn't hear about that?
Mm-mm.
They had the grand jury, and then one of the grand jurors sued the state to
Because they
put
didn't give that option.
to release the tapes, because he's like, he's out here painting us out in the media like we just weren't gonna charge these motherfuckers.
Mm.
And we
That's
didn't
not the
even
case.
have, that's not the case. You didn't even present us with the option to charge. All we talked about in that grand jury session was, the damage of property, and all of the bullshit charges that they came up with. So, Daniel Cameron, I wish you nothing but the worst. And you know I hope
Fuck you.
that, you know I just, yeah, just fuck you. I just can't say too much more than that. One of these days you're gonna realize that, even though you do their dirty work, you're still a nigga in their eyes.
At the end of the
And
day.
I hope that day is a clarifying day for you. And I hope that you know that when you try to come and run back to your people, we're going to send you right back where you came because the ultimate betrayal.
Have a good one. Have a
Fuck
good day.
you.
Have a good day.
Going back with them whites.
But the thing, the thing is, what I've realized is karma is gonna come and bite you in the ass at some
Oh,
point.
all the time.
Tory Lanez, Donald Trump, like perfect
All
examples.
the time.
Like,
All the
yeah, you
time.
survived those couple years and you got through, those few. You was up for a second, but
Mm-hmm.
you can fall right on your ass if you're not careful. That's why you got to treat people. Can you hear that when it comes
No.
up? Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay, great. Sorry. Um, my like calendar things come up and I can hear it, so I just want to make sure you
Oh,
didn't.
yeah,
But
no. Mm-mm.
yeah, like when you do wrong, or that's why I say just try to live in your truth and try to be as good of a right. Do you do wrong by me?
Until you do right
Everything
by
until
me,
you do right by me. That's what it is.
everything you do is going to
Just don't
fail.
fail.
But
And it's not even just about me, but just like, or like an individual thing. It's just really just like putting good into the world, you will get good out of it. Even if you feel, and I told one of my best friends about
you
this
better
morning.
circle back to the word last week. What I say? What I
What you say?
say? I
What else?
said that nigga Trump don't put no good in the world, and that's why he ain't got no good back. Like,
Facts, facts. I didn't even. I look. I'm still soaking it in. Clearly,
listen.
um. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times, oftentimes, and not like when you're a good person, you sometimes go through these like battles of things happening to you or struggles. Things happening to you,
Mm-hmm.
but when you don't see you can't really enjoy joy without that sorrow sometimes.
Yep.
And so for the people out there who are like, well, I've been doing good, and like people like Trump and all these terrible people keep winning, it's like, where's my time? What's my time? Just know that their time is going to come,
Mm-hmm.
and yours will too. Okay,
You
so
are
keep
exactly where God wants you to be right now.
keep pouring good into the world. I promise it will come back to you tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
It will. It will. I just
Amen.
have to encourage somebody, because I know somebody listening like, damn, like, yeah, I know they terrible, but I'm just like, damn, the nice guys never win. They always finish last. No,
Not always.
not always.
Everybody is gonna have their day, and sometimes the thing about life is sometimes you won't be able to see them go through that moment. Sometimes we harp so much on getting the satisfaction like of seeing somebody go through some terrible shit, no matter if they deserve it or not, and sometimes we don't get to see that. But they know when they know when it happens. It's like, damn,
Damn.
damn. And when they
I
reflect, they're like, okay, I'm getting back I'm reaping what I
what I
sowed
saw.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know? So that's why
Mm-hmm.
you just like when people do you wrong, um, you know, even for me, there was a long time where I would wanna and even I mean I'm human, so even now to an extent, like with my old job, like how I was done so dirty, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to just be able to throw it back in their face. And now we're sitting here in this pandemic, and I'm employed and most of them are not, and I'm just like, now it's like I can't, for some of them I'm like, damn, that's really fucked up. I'm sad for you, and for others I'm just sitting back like, but there's maturity in not reveling in people's pain,
Yeah, this day.
unless you're Donald Trump, because please,
Right.
um unless you are responsible for the genocide essentially of hundreds of thousands of people. um
Him parading at that thing really pissed me off. At that
what thing?
rally, he was at
Oh
a rally
yeah,
just like
yeah,
dancing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro, what?
you know
And
I'm not
like
gonna
just
say what I
the
want to say.
millions of people who are, or thousands of people, hundreds, who, how, whatever the count is, of people who are in that fucking audience, like just rallying around him, no mask, like
Mhm,
just out.
mhm.
I'm like, y'all can all die.
Not.
I just got to throw the peace sign up because bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye.
Listen, I hope that there are enough ventilators in the hospital wherever those people may end up. Because it's like you really went to Florida. You really went to like one of the worst places for this shit. And it's I just don't. And you thought like,
I saw that little metrics
yes, I
thing
was
in
well, I'm gonna hold it
Arizona.
here.
Was it Arizona that was so far up?
Yes,
I
Arizona is
heard that
another
they
bad
had a
one.
really bad, but I don't know
Terrible,
why.
terrible. Arizona has done so terribly with coronavirus. Like they've
Why
really been
though?
up there. I honestly, I mean, they Arizona is a staunchly Republican state, so
Right.
it does not surprise me because the whoever their leadership is probably not been putting things in place.
But it's interesting to me to see how Georgia was surpassed by so many other states, and
Mm-hmm.
Georgia has been wide the fuck open
Yeah, and you know
as
what I
well.
think about that? I think and there was a discussion about this earlier in the pandemic, I want to say maybe around May or June, that Georgia and Florida, it was a possibility that those two states were not reporting correct numbers.
Mm,
And that is honestly, look who our governor is. I do not believe a word that comes out of Brian Kemp's mouth ever at all. This is the same man who said he did not know that people could carry the virus asymptomatically, after literally the CDC down the street had been
down the
saying for
street.
weeks that that's what the case was. So um as far as Georgia's numbers, I think they are far worse than what they are reporting. Florida, I think they are far worse than what they are reporting. And it's probably the case for a lot of other states.
Right.
Um, and you know what? I mean, I just can't, like, I can't even say that I can't wait for November 3rd because we're not going to get election results on that night, most likely. But I just, I'm ready to for this to be done.
Bypass, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for this to
Yeah.
be done. Um,
But in great news, they accounted for over, I want to say 80,000 on the first day of voting.
in Georgia,
People, I don't know if it was a statewide. I'm assuming so,
I can
but I don't even think
actually,
so. I don't even think it was a Georgia. I just know that number was thrown out, and that was like a way higher than in 2016.
yeah. They
So,
say 10 million people have voted so far nationwide, which
so maybe
is
that was for just Georgia.
an incredible number for just Georgia. I can actually give you the number right now. Um, Yesterday there were 126,854 ballots cast yesterday, and that was the first day of early voting. um which was crazy, the fact that people were waiting in line for 8, 11, hours, you know right. And
I just
it's
I
insane.
I saw some reports out here that there were absentee ballots in the trash in Santa Monica, that were found, yeah, in the
Well,
trash.
did
And so I'm hoping. I went to my local post office right here. There are Hispanic and Black people. I don't think that it would be the case for over here. That was in Santa Monica, and it's
mm-hmm,
pure white, and so
mm-hmm.
ain't no telling what type of fuckery they're doing. But
Fuck a tree.
but over here in these parts, they better have sent my motherfucking ballot off. And I know when it arrives to Georgia, they better account for it because
Mm-hmm,
I was very strategic. I made sure that I did everything, cross my T's, dot my I's.
mm-hmm.
Like I looked and really took an account for this damn fly. If you don't get the fuck, sorry. I
They better
hate
not.
Nets. That ain't the fly that was on
Pence.
Pence.
Child, it was a fly on that white woman they trying to get
I
in the Supreme
see.
Court
I
today.
see. They said this may not be the same fly. It probably
First
is.
of all,
That's
it means that y'all
somebody's
stank.
ancestor.
It means that y'all stank and y'all need to take a bath. If you got flies landing on you and just staying and chilling out,
For the
clearly it's something.
whole
Clearly
No,
it's
that's
something about
that's
your
our
musk.
ancestor. That's our ancestor, sis.
That, yeah, That very well could be.
Definitely.
You know, on a conspiracy theory tip, open up your third eye.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I believe that the fly is a robotic tool
Oh,
made and created by B613 to implant a chemical toxin.
uh-huh.
Let me stop. I can't even
I'm
finish
weak.
this shit.
I'm
I
like,
can't
I'm
even finish
literally
this
listening to
shit.
like,
Cause yeah, and no.
mhm. This is not that. It's not one of them podcasts. I promise y'all.
It's
We is
really
not.
not. It's
We
really
not
not.
on that.
I know I said I was an Aquarius earlier, but I am not the conspiracy theorist Aquarius. That is not a part of my ministry. I very much believe in facts that can be proved.
Period.
The only
Period.
conspiracy I believe in is the fact that Tupac is really alive and he's down in Cuba chilling with his auntie. I truly
Well,
do
I
believe
can
that in my heart.
happily report that I did not see him
Of
when
course
I
you
went.
didn't see him because once they started letting niggas come down there, he probably said, "Yo, I really gotta stay low now." Shit.
He was dead, girl. Because if he was alive, I'd be on that.
That's
Let's
what
go
you
on
think.
it. Let's do it. Ride it.
You so fucking
My
stupid.
pony.
That's what they want you to think. They want you to think he dead. Let me stop.
Here she go, y'all. I'm the conspiracy theorist, I thought.
Oh, no, you are. You are.
Well, they
100%.
said that aliens. All right. So moving along, from all of the things, shout out to our WCW this week for sure,
Yes.
Meg the Stallion, for using her voice and her platform to really
Per.
highlight and show love to Black women.
Yes.
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 So what you been on?
Well. For music, I really just been in a jazzy type
I
space.
saw.
Mm, really? How?
You sent me something.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Ciao. But yes, I've been in the jazzy space. First thing that I'm gonna bring up today is an EP called Light and Shadow, and it's by an artist named Nate Smith. My mama put me onto this.
Nice.
Shout out to Barb. She actually saw this on Jill Scott's Instagram, and once she told me that like Jill Scott had posted, I'm like, this just makes so much sense because it
Right.
sounds, like something that she would be a part of, or that she would like,
Mm-hmm.
or that she would sing on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a really dope EP. It's only 5 tracks, but if you're a person that just loves music that encompasses all, instruments, strings, winds, everything like that, I definitely suggest you listen. It's it'll really put you at peace. There are some features. I think this is James Fauntleroy that's on this on here. It's
Nice. You
I
know I love him.
listen, I get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then from
Talented.
there, because Apple Music has just vastly improved and, does the thing that Title does and starts playing similar songs after you're done with one thing. Am I
Really?
just am I getting a beta Apple? No, they
You're
they
getting
they
you're
brought that in
getting
on iOS 14, I swear.
oh, that's probably why I haven't
Yeah.
updated my phone because I don't have no storage.
Girl, delete them pictures.
Every time I delete photos, they be like, still no storage. So I'm like, why am I deleting the photos? Might as well just keep them.
Is,
Because
are
these
the is it the photos that's taking up the most space?
that's what it says. Oh no, that might be on my computer. On my phone, I think it was the apps, and so I started deleting the app. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
probably like a combination of both. And so then I started deleting the apps, and then it did like a thing where you have to like download, like it's stored on iCloud. So every time
Mm,
you want to open something, it'll like have to re-download or whatever. So
yeah.
none of my apps were like officially on my phone. And so I'm like, okay, well, that would at least save space. But nothing was enough to actually
Mhm.
download the new update. But I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it
Got
out.
it.
Yeah, no worries.
Um, Another thing that I've been listening. So from that, I found a couple songs that I was really feeling. I don't. I think this group's name is Threk. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the album is called Fork. But the third song on the album is called Tea Time. And that's just a nice groove.
Nice.
There's also Change of Tone, and this is by or this, I think this is, who is this? R and R equals now, which is like Robert Glasper and a bunch of other folks. The album is called Collagically Speaking. Um, Robert Glasper, that's a name that speaks for itself. You should already know what type of time he on.
Right.
And then I have Kyle's Dance by Meta Musica. It's on the album called The Funky Knuckles, and that's a nice funky little groove too. So if you're looking for something jazzy, check those tunes out.
I love it.
But yeah,
Love
that's
it.
what I got.
Okay, so kind of keeping it on that pathway to start. This girl Wallette, I'm assuming that's how you say her name, is Wallette. She has an EP that just came out, Trusting the Process, and I really like the whole thing. It's 6 songs, but mainly really 5 songs. It's like an intro and an outro. Like Here I Am, though, the third track is a really nice, soothing. Her voice is very soothing. Still along the lines of like R&B and soul, not quite jazz, but like that track. Rome 96. I'm sure I've mentioned music to you all from him. He just came out with a song called My Whole Life, and it's like contemporary R&B, so not quite like soulful, but definitely giving you like a peaceful vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And then this song has been on motherfucking repeat. Busta Rhymes and Anderson .Paak have a song out called You. I don't know if I mentioned it last week or not, but I'm gonna mention it again because I keep listening to it and it's fire. It's called You, Why You. And no one would have thought Busta Rhymes and Anderson .Paak would be on a song together, but I really fuck with it. And
Yeah.
allegedly, Busta Rhymes, from a New York journalist that I follow, a music journalist that I follow, that the Busta Rhymes album is fire. So
Ooh.
that should be on the way soon. And I really fuck with Busta. Like, he actually has another song with Trippie Redd called I Got You,
Mm-hmm.
which is also not necessarily a collaboration that you would have seen. But the fact that Busta Rhymes is still able to get on a track with a relevant artist and be his authentic self, but also provide, what you need from a song today
Right.
is really dope and entertaining. And I love that. So shout out to Busta Rhymes. That's really all I have this week in terms of new music.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes.
Um, as far as television is concerned,
I've still
first,
just been on my girlfriend's binge. I'm almost finished. I've
I'm
gotten past,
done.
yeah, I know you were done. I got past at this point, Tony and Todd are trying to work it out. Um, William and Joan are finally over, thank God.
Wasn't that a rough patch of episodes?
It
My
was just
God,
like, it's just
so
cringy.
forced.
So they never had sex.
Oh no, they do
Okay,
have
so they do
sex,
have sex. Okay, because I was like,
but
I
it's not
thought that they
intentional.
did.
Like,
Because I was like, I thought that they did, but I'm on the part where she's like, they were trying so hard and just like didn't happen.
mm-hmm.
Um, and Lynn is just so funny, bro. Like, she is really a character. I realized again why she was so funny to me, or
Yeah,
like one of my favorite characters to begin with, because she just be like in her own little world, just in her own fucking
yeah,
little world. Um,
just mooching,
just mooching and living her
yeah,
best life, child. Um, but yeah, so I'm there in Girlfriends. I really would love to get back into Lovecraft Country, but unfortunately, my HBO plug, something always goes wrong, and I just be like, I can't. Yeah, so that's non-existent. But I am gonna start on Power because I clearly missed the wave for that.
yeah. And you have time. It's not coming back until
So
December.
December, yeah.
I'm assuming that bitch COVID came through and ruined that for us.
What Power?
Yeah, because it was literally on like 4 episodes. So I know they didn't come into this saying I'm gonna put out 4 episodes and then stop until December. Like
Right.
that screamed COVID to me. So
Yeah.
hate that for them though, because they had some good momentum. We were really Tariq had really got himself into a sticky situation, and now we're just at the
Just that peak, but
just
that's good
waiting to
that
see.
people are gonna be still excited to see it during like
Yeah,
Christmas time, winter
yeah,
time.
exactly. But I have been watching Lovecraft Country again. Still surprised that I have been able to watch this show because
In the
also again
nighttime.
in the nighttime at that. I am very much a wimp. So Lovecraft this week was just,
I
it
heard it
was
was good.
it was so good. I mean, every episode is good. But this episode, and shout out to our guy friend Jeremiah. He brought up on Twitter the fact that there was no like true horror in this episode, because the horror was the crimes against black people like this week. And I'm just gonna tell it. But this week, well, last week we, because I didn't really talk about last week because you and Keep Sorry hadn't seen it. But last week they were I'm sorry, let me remember what the hell happened last week. Diana, who is, yes, last week, Emmett Till's death, which was, is a phenomenal Easter egg in that show. Like, the fact that we see him throughout the series as Diana's friend, and they're calling him Bobo, and stuff like that. And these little things where they're playing around with the Ouija board in the basement. He's saying, "Oh, how's my trip gonna go?" And the Ouija board is like, not good. Like,
Mm,
he said, "Well, is my trip gonna go well?" And the Ouija board said no. um
sheesh.
yeah, like things like that. And then so we start last week's episode off at his funeral, and seeing people's reaction to that, coming out of that church and that open casket service, and seeing his face the way that it was, and seeing people truly be like sick to their stomachs and just distraught at the whole situation, and just really grappling with the same things that we grapple with today when those things happen, to our young girls and boys, unfortunately, and just thinking like, this is just a child.
Right.
And I love that the episode was focused on D, because you'd never get to, I think the last time we really got to hear from like a friend of someone, of a kid that has, experienced that unfortunate death was Trayvon Martin's friend. And her name just literally left
I
my
don't
my
remember.
brain. Her name, they put her on the stand and people were ripping her apart because she could not, or not she that she could not, but
She couldn't hold herself together, right?
she wasn't she wasn't the best. She wasn't, I don't want to say that. What word, how can I say this? She as far as public speaking,
Yeah, she.
she was not the best speaker. I really want to find this girl's name.
But
Trayvon
even still, it's like I'm
Martin.
dealing with the death of my.
Yeah,
It's hard to
she
talk. That's just, she couldn't hold herself together, really.
exactly. She was on the phone with him when this all happened.
Right.
Um, Rachel Jontel. Yes. Um, and she was torn apart in the media because they were saying, "Oh, she's not well spoken," and all this other stuff. And there was a lot of fat phobia there because she was a bigger girl, and it was just a lot of crazy things. But we never get to see how the friends of these kids deal with the fact that their friend
Right. Their
just
friend is
fucking
gone.
died. You know what I'm saying? And so that episode was really Diana grappling with the fact that her friend just died, her best friend at that just died. And then, coming off the previous episode where Hippolyta, she goes and gets sucked up into this time machine and like rediscovers herself as a woman and the boss bitch and shit like that. um and at the end of that episode we see that one of Diana's comic books that she always would make for her dad when he would go out on guide trips, and that she did end up making for Hippolyta when she went out on that trip, that was found at the scene. So that led the police back to Diana, unfortunately, and they put a fucking spell on my bitch. That's where them pickaninnies came from, them dancing pickaninnies.
Mm-hmm.
And they really had my sis down bad. The police, the spell that they put on her, because he spit on her, and with his spit she could not tell people what the fuck was going on. So these pickaninnies were haunting her, right? And she couldn't tell, like she couldn't say, Letty, watch out, this is behind you, or this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Mm.
silenced her,
Wow.
and then tortured her, because
Wow.
nobody could see these things but her.
Right.
And so then at the end of that episode we deal with like, she again, black women, black girls, always resourceful. She leaned back on her talent and she said, if I can't tell anybody what's going on, I'm gonna draw it out. So she just starts drawing it out before she has like her showdown with the pickaninnies.
Mm-hmm.
And they, get her and she passes out. And so then that brings us to this episode where now she's cursed and they're trying to figure out how to break this curse off of her.
Mm.
And so in order to do that, they need the Book of Names, the book that they have been speaking about for the entire series. We know that in the present day that this show is happening, the Book of Names does not, it's not, they can't get it, it's nowhere to be found. So they have to
Mm-hmm.
go back in time. And that's where the real horrors of this episode come from, because they have to go back in time to Tick's mother's house in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the time of the Tulsa massacre.
Mm.
And so we see the horrors in Montrose, who is Tick's dad, having to relive the most traumatic time of his life. And when they first went, I said, now why the hell did y'all bring him with y'all? Like, why? They almost had no choice because again, Tick and Letty, they're not from that time. They don't even know. They never even been to Tulsa. They don't know what the hell. They don't know where to
Right.
go. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So they had to bring him, unfortunately, but just seeing him relive that trauma all over again, was just so horrible. Seeing how these people, Black people, have truly been through so fucking much. Like, me and my mother were talking about this episode last night, and she was just like, I still can't stop thinking about that episode. And we were both trying to find the words. And I was like, there are no words. There are no words
Right.
for the things that our people have been put through in this country. And, we were just talking about the whole thing. And I was just like, you think that they would get tired, like, because all it is people breaking us down for us to build ourselves back up to be broken back down again, and then it's just a vicious cycle.
Cycle. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because Joe Biden's whole slogan is build back better, and I'm like, we've been building back better and better and better all of our fucking lives. Like, and still we get shitted on, like, and still we rise. And I can't wait for the day where we can, where we don't have to be broken down to prove how great we are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Um and just to know that, like, that was a thriving Black area in Oklahoma, like
But
millionaires and that.
I saw something on Twitter, where I get all my news clearly, where there were like, I've heard of some of the other massacres that
Mhm.
happened, but there's like there's one in pretty
Yeah.
much every state that has happened over
Yeah.
the course of history, where we'll go to another place, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, and try to build there, and then you just burn that shit down, bomb
Yeah.
that shit, create this virus, do this. It's like,
Mhm.
leave us the fuck alone. Like, nobody's hurting you by, like, it's so crazy how intimidated white people are of Black people specifically, because they feel it's all that guilt too. It's just like all your white guilt. So you feel like, well, if we allow them to get any further, they're going to tear us down, then we won't have it.
Yeah.
And I saw a great video actually recently about this white man speaking about how, like, his white counterparts are wrong for feeling a type of way when, about not having white culture, essentially. He's like, we don't have white culture, and the reason why Black people have Black culture is because they literally were stripped of their own culture, so they
Right.
created what,
Right.
or they do have a culture of being oppressed. So
Yeah.
that is all the things that came of that: poor, being impoverished, drugs, the culture, that culture, you know what I mean, came from you all oppressing us in order to for us to like try to build something of ourselves. It's so interesting, so crazy. But that's the first time I ever seen a white man really explain it that way, to where it was like,
Mhm.
you understand, you get it.
Mhm.
There's somebody who understands why you don't really have like a set space.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
And I
know.
mean, honestly, they're and it's like white Americans, yeah, y'all absolutely do have no culture. But
Well, that's what he was speaking of. He was like, I mean, you could be German or
yeah,
Irish, or but other than
yeah,
that,
yeah, that's what I'm
that's
saying. But the problem with that is, and this was explored on I think it was a food a show that I talked about a while ago with Padma Lakshmi. It's on Hulu. It's called like Taste the Nation, and
Mm-hmm.
she had an
I like that show.
episode about. I love that show. I might have to rewatch. She had an episode about German food, and she was talking to the young man in Milwaukee that owned the restaurant that she was at, and he was talking about how his family, they had to assimilate because the American white folks were over here, you know, basically, just being them, being racist, but that's your culture. Racism
Is your culture, right?
is white Americans' culture because y'all have perpetuated it throughout time consistently.
Consistently, everywhere.
Yeah, and they had to, because they were white, they were able to blend in and not speak the language and all of those things. They were able to remove themselves from all the things that would make them German, that would make them Irish, that would make them Italian, to blend in with and not be crucified or treated horribly in the eyes of white Americans. And so it's like, had y'all held on to that, because there are a lot of there is so much privilege in knowing where you come from. You know what I'm saying? You like, and that's just on a every level. I mean that for everybody. Nigerian, like, any, if you can identify the exact country, place, city, down to the tribe where you came from, I'm so envious, because it's something that I've never been able to do, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable swabbing my mouth and giving it to somebody to test. But but one day
And
I
even
probably.
still, when you
Right.
do that, it's like, okay, but then from there, where do I go? Like, I
Where
don't know my
exactly.
family.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So if those people were able to hold on to those values like they should have, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, y'all still white. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the crazy thing. White people was racist against white people for not being from America. Like, that's wild to me. That's why I say that's y'all culture. That's y'all culture. Um,
It's
but
just
yeah.
this elitist,
Yeah.
mentality. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
And it's
And
so
it's like
crazy.
black
But
folks don't need that because we already know we're the one.
yeah,
We are
the
top
two and
tier.
the three.
Right. To
Like,
go on
but
somewhere.
yeah, it was a phenomenal episode. They had a scene where the white people was looted, and I said, "Ain't that about a bitch? You come to the black neighborhood to loot because you knew we was on.
Knew it.
You knew we was on. It's
That's crazy. It's
it was
crazy.
if you're able, and I can, well, I don't know the status of that right now, if I'm but if you're able to catch up on Lovecraft, I
I
highly
would love
suggest.
to. Yeah, I would love to.
um
I be
yeah,
I gotta make it do what it do, and I
exactly.
didn't, So I had a great plug too. It was perfect because I was watching everything on HBO. I was watching that. Oh
Yeah.
no, P Valley came on Stars. I
That
still
was
have the
I
Stars.
started it. I haven't even finished though, like the first
It's
episode.
so good, bro.
Yeah,
That's a good show.
I have to watch. But I already love like certain, like I already love Uncle Clifford and stuff like
So good. I love
that.
his character.
Yeah, so I'm excited to keep going with that. I'm also very excited on the flip side, speaking of white people with no culture, the perpetuators of all of this, the
Oh,
British.
The
I'm super
Crown,
excited about The Crown coming back on, because now we're
Netflix.
getting to the good mess. Okay, we're getting to the Diana chapter of things. And honestly, if you have not watched The Crown,
I
if
started
you're
it a while ago.
if you're not into historical dramas, I feel bad for you, because it's really great. And net
What? Oh, I thought that was a bird.
it was a bird. And Netflix has invested a coin into the show. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I realize now, in learning more about the industry, those types of shows do require a pretty penny because of the accuracy that you
Costume.
have to, exactly, the costume, and even just down to paying the actors. My cousin was telling me this, like, if you want an actor to be in a period piece and they have to look like something that they don't normally look like
Mm-hmm.
for an extended period of time,
Mm-hmm.
their pay has to reflect that.
But what do you mean look like? Like
So
in terms
say
of their body or what? Like,
yeah, or yeah. So if you're okay, so say this is like a 70s period piece, and you're telling somebody, okay, we need you to be shagged out, grow your hair out, grow your beard out, like really authentic, like that costs money. Like they're gonna charge for that. As they should.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're just, or you need to, or especially to like portray another person, if you got to gain weight, or something like that, or lose it, or, just change anything about your physical appearance.
To get
Um,
into that
to
that's
get into
true.
that
Yeah.
character, that requires more money on the actor's part,
Got it.
like to be paid to the actor. So I say all
Right.
that to say The Crown is phenomenal, and I'm very excited. Last season we ended with the Queen not letting Charles marry Camilla, who is his wife now. Fast forward all these years, she would not let him marry her because Camilla had already been married, and divorced, and that was a big no. And that just wasn't really fucking with her. Also, because Camilla was a commoner, she was not of royal,
Right. Right.
pedigree or anything like that. And so yeah, and Camilla was also a hot girl out here. She was really
That's what I was
playing.
about to say. She
Yeah,
was out here
she
probably
was out here. She was playing Charles. She had she had a whole prince, and she had a nigga on the side too. Is
the drama. We love it.
yeah,
The
yeah.
theatrics.
So now we bring Diana into the mix, and we already know how that goes. The table is about to get shook. I'm very excited.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't really have
Oh,
anything else for something
I
else.
started watching the first episode of Woke, and yeah, it's definitely weird. I watched it while I was redacted, and my God, I had to cut that off because I said I'm too redacted for this. Uh, I gotta come back when
Yeah,
I'm regular.
I ain't even touched that again.
Yeah,
Redacted or not, I ain't touched that again.
yeah,
Cause I was just like, it's just weird. It got weird. Like, even I was talking to my friend about it, and he was just like, yeah, it just got really weird. Like, I got into more of the show, like trying to watch the rest of the season. Cause they got plenty ads up. Like, they really marketing the
yeah,
show well. And I'm
yeah.
happy for the actors, you know what I mean, that are in it,
Mm-hmm.
but I just can't. I don't know about that. It ain't my
Yeah.
cup of tea. But neither here nor there. I'm gonna finish Girlfriends, and then
My
girl.
girlfriends.
Yeah. What else has been going on, bro?
Man, I don't know, man. I've just been trying to. Yeah.
Keeping my head above water, making away with I can, temporarily on
Good
good time,
times,
easy credit report,
good times,
scratching like
good times,
hanging in a jar
good times.
of eyes. Hey, we lucky we
We
got
got
'em.
it.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Good times.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I miss it. Ooh, look at my shirt. You
Yeah.
see?
Oh, yes. Period. Approved apparel. Cop, you won. That's such a cute shirt.
Period.
Nice and white
It's
quality.
it's very quality. The fabric is very soft against my skin. It's not irritating at all. If I move my wig out the way, I am divinely protected on the back. Y'all
Period.
can't see it, but just know
Just know
I got
that
angels
Angel's
around me.
watching her back, pert,
Period, and they black.
and they black because we need deserve to see our heavenly selves. Do,
Amen.
do.
So proud of you, sister.
Thank
Really
you.
love it. Love the packaging.
Thank you.
It's yeah. Y'all go support us.
Yes. Shout out to Morgan, our girlfriend Morgan,
Yes.
who was featured on our show. She helped with the design for this, and she's helping with my next design that's coming out winter 2020. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We got long sleeve shirts, joggers, and face masks coming up soon.
Come on, joggers, okay?
The joggers
And
gonna
they
go crazy.
and they not gonna be in September, like Sheree said, okay?
Period.
These not no she these not she by Sheree
There's definitely
joggers.
not she by Sheree. Okay,
Okay.
don't do that. We do quality approved apparel over here, honey.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm happy that you enjoy it. I'm happy that all of you that have ordered enjoy it. But please keep those sales coming. Share with a friend if you can't.
Yes.
Have your sugar daddy buy you one.
Real nice.
Real nice. Yeah, I don't have anything else. That's my small black business this week. Sorry for the lack of things to talk about, but we be talking anyway. So catch us
Exactly.
on the social medias.
Exactly. Yeah, because we be talking a lot.
Oh, we didn't get into the Glacier Boy discussion. This that people are sending out these snowflakes across the internet and in folks' DMs as if they
I
had
ain't
what
getting no
Quavo had.
snowflakes, so
Neither did I,
clearly.
sis. Neither did I. I didn't get not now snowflake in my DM.
Okay.
But it has been funny to see the how it started and how it ended photos, screenshots as
You know
well.
what we did not touch on last week, and I'm gonna tell you how this all connects because I think this person should be next in line for it. We never talked about the McDonald's
Oh
collaborations
yeah, we didn't. We never
last
got back to
week,
it. Yes.
and we already know the Travis Scott meal uber popular.
Mhm.
Y'all were out here stealing fucking in-store merch off the windows and shit, just doing
The
the
fucking
most
posters.
doing the most behind Stormy Daddy. And and now J Balvin has his meal. I really like the idea. I feel it's McDonald's low cost way of repackaging shit that they already
Already
made.
have,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And getting you niggas to buy it.
Yeah.
So
I disagree. I don't like it just for the simple fact of, you know, highlighting. I mean, Travis Scott's audience is a little different. Most of his audience are little white boys.
yeah.
So I don't care about the little white boys eating a McDouble and a quarter pounder or whatever it is. However, like a J Balvin audience and typically I mean, even a Travis Scott audience, are black and brown folk. And I
Mhm.
just feel like we don't need to be eating that shit. Nobody should really be eating that shit. But if
Yeah.
you have an occasional McDonald's meal is fine. But I just know like we grew up on that shit and we're fine. Um, but we're not. Like a lot of people are getting breast cancer at a younger age. Like I saw this girl today. She beat it, thank God. On Twitter, I saw that she had tweeted, I guess back in August, like I'm 26 years old and I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mhm.
And then today she or quoted herself and said, I'm 26 years old and I beat breast cancer. So
Mhm.
I just say that to say it's from our eating. It's the things that we've been putting in our bodies for years, that our parents have been putting in their bodies for years, and that we've conditioned ourselves to be okay with. And not to say like I'm like this, pro or super healthy person, because I be eating like trash too. But I just want us to do better. And I feel like an advertisement like that or like a partnership like that should be a little bit more strategic. Though get the bag, because I know McDonald's was definitely
Yeah.
threw them a large bag. And I think the coolest thing about it was the merchandise
Yeah.
that went along with it. That was the coolest thing to me, like that they were able to use the McDonald's branding and kind of like
Mhm.
implement their own stuff. Especially for someone like Travis Scott, like I thought it was tight. I'm not a huge J Balvin fan, but even for him, that was cool to see, like him hop on the bandwagon, and also for Travis Scott to be the first one to do it.
Yeah.
So it was definitely historic, and that's what's up. But I just don't want people like to kill themselves. That's all.
Absolutely. And I totally understand what you're saying, but there's also choice in everything. You don't have to go. You don't have to go and get the Travis Scott meal. Like you don't have to go and get the J Balvin meal. You don't have to go eat McDonald's at all. And I think that's where it comes. Like people have tried to sue McDonald's for, oh, you made me fat. And it's like, no, nobody made you go to McDonald's and
Facts.
go buy fucking McNuggets every day. Like
That's true.
even there are it's a choice.
That's true. That's true.
I don't unless you are extremely strapped for cash, I don't see you saying, I have to go to McDonald's today. Like, McDonald's is my only
Only
option,
option, yeah.
unless,
And even still, McDonald's be kind of pricey when you think about it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you got the dollar menu, but like McDonald's
yeah.
get kind of pricey. That's why I'm like, you can really go to the grocery store and get food for cheaper, but it's convenient. Like I
Mm,
understood why we growing up ate that
yeah.
shit because our parents were working all the time. Like it was just a convenient thing
And
to just stop at
McDonald's,
McDonald's.
nobody was
It
was talking shit about McDonald's in the 90s like that.
right.
Okay,
That was the
it was
place to be. Get
it
you a
was the
happy
cool
meal.
place. Get you a Happy
Yeah.
Meal. They had all the good toys. They had way better toys than Burger King. You know, with the exception of them watches and shit. Now, when Burger King had them Rugrats
Yeah, I
watches and
went
shit,
straight
no,
to Burger King. I
whoa,
hated their
okay,
food, but I was
all right.
there.
But
What
I
are you
said,
saying?
please put a Mighty Meal, okay, in front of me for the watch only.
For the watch. That's so
But yeah,
true.
they had the partnership with Disney, so like during the Disney Renaissance, they had all of the Disney toys.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
McDonald's
true.
was just the spot,
That's true.
So
That's true.
it hasn't been until within the past, like 15 or 20 years, where folks have just really been like, McDonald's, and they've seen that, and that's why their sales have declined the way they had. That's why they've had to close restaurants, and still they're on top. Still, they're like one of the biggest, most recognizable chains in the world.
Right.
So yeah, I like it. I think it was a great way for them to say, instead of saying, let's bring Travis Scott in, and then we got to do all of this testing and get in the kitchen to come up with a whole brand new
Meal, right.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not doing well financially. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was like, oh well, why is it just I get my double whatever with with lettuce all the time, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's the point. Like,
Now we calling it something.
right now we've done put somebody else's name on it, and we bundling it up and giving it to you for $6, and
And
maybe
that's that.
that'll encourage you to go get a burger t-shirt or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
But I say all that to say, who I think should have a
The next meal.
McDonald's, the next collab should be Sweetie.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she had made that Big Mac
Yes.
thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That would
Yes.
be ideal. Yeah.
Yes. Like,
Well, her team need to get on it or
get
hire us.
on it.
Icy
Okay.
girl.
Listen, because I've grown to really like Sweetie in this year. Her music, I'm still looking for something original from her.
That's it.
But
That's all I want is one original song. One
yes.
original song and I'll be okay. But I like Saweetie as a person, her
Yeah.
look, her like
Yeah.
energy, for
Exactly.
sure. But other than that, like I just want a original song. If I could get
Exactly.
if you're an artist and you call yourself an artist, like I just want you to have one song that's yours.
Hmm.
And not saying, I mean, all her songs are hers, but you understand what I'm saying. Like no
No
samples.
samples.
No
Yeah.
samples.
Yeah. No,
Please. Just
nothing.
one
Like,
song. Beautiful girl, beautiful gown. You know what I
beautiful
mean?
girl, beautiful gowns, super funny. The little Birkin Bratz
The
thing.
Birkin Brass thing, hilarious.
Yo, I'd
A1.
be
A1 talent.
screaming. Like,
She's
I've gone back.
hilarious. I could see
Yeah.
her getting into like, shows and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
like being on, yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Yeah, but
And
I definitely think she should be next up.
for the McDonald's collab, for sure.
One,
I
because
agree.
she's a woman and she eats McDonald's, and so far it's just been J Balvin and Travis Scott. Like,
Right.
and if we're gonna keep that same energy and continue to put money in the pockets of
Black and brown
black
folk.
and brown people, then here is a black woman who clearly loves McDonald's.
Clearly.
Because what does she call it? Like a McSlutty or something like that? Like,
I don't know,
wow,
but
but she
Quavo was
puts some.
like, you don't have to eat that, baby.
No,
You don't got
that's.
it. I will order you some
I
food,
feel
honey.
like he said that to her more than once, because he said
For
that when
sure.
she did the ramen in the fucking
With the hot
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Yeah.
She just a rat from
Yeah.
Sacramento. I got
No.
cousins like that. I do. I already know. I know exactly who she is. I met her
Yeah.
before. That's the type. She the
So,
type. Nah,
but yeah,
I
that
agree
should
with
be
that.
next up. My
Yeah.
McDonald's meal, it wouldn't be nothing to run home about either. Shit. 10
Now listen,
piece, chicken nugget.
let me tell you about the McChicken with the cheese and the bacon. I don't do that no more. But that hoe, remember we used to eat them in high school?
Okay. College
It's so
too. Shit.
what's his name put me onto that? He don't need to be mentioned on the podcast, but
Yeah.
of our former band director.
Yeah.
Uh but is the one who put me onto that, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yes.
I've done that a time or two. But yeah, no. I mean, 10-piece nugget, sweet sour sauce. Now, if I had a McDonald's meal, I would be asking McDonald's to bring back the sweet chili sauce for the one time.
Ooh, the sweet chili sauce was
That
fire.
was the superior sauce. Like, I don't understand why
Yeah.
you can't let us have nice things. But I'm not even gonna fucking lie to y'all. You know, the fries at McDonald's are still elite. They still have a monopoly on that. It's nobody else fries that's hitting on McDonald's fries. And that's just it is.
Yeah, you keep them hoes in your
Yeah.
car long enough, they gonna be hitting
Oh,
still.
yeah. They're definitely,
Reheat
but
them and they'll be fine.
when they hot and well salted, okay, listen, don't act like you ain't never
I've
enjoyed
definitely
it.
had a few
Okay,
in my lifetime.
okay.
I'm just trying to
Listen,
avoid it as much as
no,
possible moving forward.
definitely. I'm
Haven't
not
had.
gonna.
Now I'm tempted. We've been talking about I'm loving it. I'm
No
like, I do
lie,
love it.
no lie. About 2 weeks ago, I went because you know they put out the spicy McNuggets, and I'm a
Uh-huh.
nugget connoisseur, so I was like, well,
Well,
I'm gonna see about it.
how were they?
Let me, because I saw people like, oh, these are better than Wendy's spicy nuggets, and I'm like, well, that's a serious claim.
Yeah,
Because
because Wendy's nuggets are and chicken is superior to me.
period,
I
because
mean,
it's
Chick-fil-A
real.
chicken, right? Chick-fil-A
Yeah,
chicken, obviously. But
yeah.
like in terms of a nugget,
Ooh. Now, have you done a thing at Chick-fil-A? So this Sarah Jakes Roberts put me onto this on her
nice.
podcast.
Okay.
Um, at Chick-fil-A, she says she gets a spicy chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Chick-fil-A sauce,
Mm-hmm.
or the spicy chicken sandwich with cheese and
Mm-hmm.
bacon. So basically, same thing at McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
but just at Chick-fil-A, no mayo, no lettuce,
Mm-hmm.
and you put Chick-fil-A sauce on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
That's it.
blessing. It's a blessing right
I think
there.
you did mention that to me before,
It's
but
a
I can't do
blessing.
the bacon. I can
It's a
do the cheese and the chicken and a little
yeah.
sauce.
Yeah, I haven't, but it's all about choices. Like I haven't really, do I go to Chick-fil-A often? Absolutely. But now I find myself going to Chick-fil-A and I get the little cool wrap. Or I get, a nice salad.
Salad.
I'm waiting on them to bring back the chicken tortilla soup so I can
Oh
get into
yes.
that.
Oh, that should be bussing with the little
Bussin'.
lime thea. You loud. You loud.
I'm sorry, but I need them to know.
This is
Okay.
clearly called chicken. Um,
Fresh
we do
lettuce, 3 cheeses, ranch
red
dressing.
dressing
Wrapped up in
wrapped up in a.
every day I sit up here and think about how we really could have let Mary live on that commercial.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
we could have let Mary live. Now
That commercial is top
the
tier.
way niggas were going hard for them Popeyes chicken sandwiches, it had the nerve to be upset with
At
Mary
Mary.
for getting her coin for telling us what's in the new chicken wrap.
What's in the new chicken wrap? That commercial is a classic. What's in the
Okay,
new chicken wrap?
crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, 3 cheeses, ranch
That's
dressing,
just
wrapped
wrapped up in a
flour. Because she had to specify it's not
tortilla.
corn,
It's
it's
flour.
flour.
Just in case y'all needed to know. Like, I hope it's not
Crispy
corn.
chicken, wrapped up
Wrapped.
in a
Wrapped. I love the wrap.
tortilla. Okay, listen, y'all could have let Mary live.
I'm done. So this has been a great episode about chicken.
Crispy chicken.
Crispy
That's
chicken
the name of the
specifically.
episode.
Crispy chicken.
Crispy
Bada ba ba
chicken.
ba. I'm loving it. Um
Oh my God.
yes, absolutely. So there are a few small businesses that you can support.
Yes.
Approved apparel being that bitch.
Yes.
So definitely you guys go cop the collection. I think there was one other
I have one.
business that I wanted. Oh, great.
You can support my hairstylist person that I go to for all things hair. Oh, excuse me, Laura. I was holding in that burp like Trump was holding in that cough.
I'm
Um,
so done. So done.
but yes, my hairstylist Shadae Renee. She truly takes care of me in every avenue, from my natural hair to the wig that is atop my hair right now. Please apologize. I'm apologizing for the adjustment that I made a little bit earlier. It just is. It's hot in here. Okay. it's hot in here, and it is what it is. Y'all know, y'all already know, like, and it's a glueless situation, so I could adjust if I want
It
to.
looks
It
fabulous.
gives me the freedom, and that's what
I
I
love it.
love. Is she can go and give you the Instagram hair, but she can give the everyday girl, hair that she can manage on her own, and I appreciate her for that. She has hair oil. I got it right here. It's had my list. It's gone.
You should repeat what you said because you were away from the.
I'm sorry. She
What
has
is this
hair.
that you're presenting?
This is the rose relief serum. This is her hair like growth oil. It's super
Nice.
dope.
Nice.
And it's done wonders on my hair. She's now turned that into a shampoo and conditioner line,
Nice.
which is like so dope. I was asking her, when I got my hair done a couple weeks ago, I'm like, like how? Like how does one begin to create shampoo? You know what I'm saying? And she was telling me all about the process of her, going to chemists and eventually finding, a company that would, all she had to do is tell them the formulation and then create it for her. And I'm just so proud because, Shadae was doing hair back in the towers at Howard. And now,
Wow.
look at where she's at now, a whole businesswoman, a whole entrepreneur. So again, her name on Instagram is Shadae Renee, SHADAERENEE.
Nice.
And if you're in Atlanta, she is taking some appointments here and there now. If you're able to get in, but I mean, it's not just wigs and everything. She does phenomenally on natural hair.
She does.
She literally is the only person I trust with my hair, with my weaves, whatever. So highly suggest you check her out. And if not, head over to her website. She has kits like shampoo kits and things, everything that you think of as far as hair, Sade could take care of you. So that's my black business.
Period. I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay, well, thank y'all for coming and tuning in to, our episode this week. We hope
Yeah.
that you learned something new and you have another business to support always and
Yes.
forever. Yes, as always, you guys can follow us on all social media channels. That's Girlfriends Pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can like us on Facebook, Girlfriends Pod. You can also go to our website and listen to this episode as well as all the other episodes
Mhm.
at girlfriends.com. Be sure to follow us individually. I'm Sammy Approved on social media.
And I'm at E Told You So.
And that's that on that. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.